Well, hello. Following up with Blu-ray, like it's daunting, but it's perfect because doesn't he have the sauce? If you were here for Blu-ray, and then Scott Kelby's after me, so I think it's a perfect 3-time package. And David and Michael are so good at setting that up. But I'm here to talk about the intentional headshot. And that's what here is on the screen, my splash page for this conference. And I did the conference in 2020, the last time that we were live here on stages, and I was on the main stage, and I had the same type of intro to the intentional headshot, which goes into so many areas, and we decided to slice it down and just kind of like give you just a little portion of it because it takes an hour to explain it, really. The last time I was just kind of talking about how you take the headshot business and the fact that it's a bread and butter concept for you if you're just getting started, that a headshot business or opportunity for your clients will lead you into what you want to do otherwise. If you want to do glamour, maternity, family, newborns, whatever it is, because when you learn how to do a headshot correctly, like Blu-ray was talking about, you listen to Peter Hurley, listen to him all day, watch his YouTube, because he's got the basic secret sauce going, He's got the expression, the lighting, and things like that. He's just so good to listen to because he is very consistent in his message where he's only talking headshots typically. So I love learning from Peter. I went to see him almost 15 years ago at B&H in the event space when he was a baby in the educator thing, and he just really turned my thoughts around. And that's why I'm here today. Thank you, Peter, because of him, because of his message. So what I want to say is, along with that, let me get to the next slide and we'll start talking. Here we go. So I was here at the Depth of Field conference in 2020. They used, I was a splash page. You know how you see the people from India on the splash page now? They gave me the splash page. So I was like on the internet, through B&H. It was so cool. And here is a headshot example of mine. So I'm not going to have a gallery of images, and I want to get into the meat and bones of this deliverable thing. But this is just one that I did take in Cuba. I take students to different countries, and I was explaining how to do strobe here with a Westcott modifier, rapid box. And so this was the splash page, and I was really proud of that. So, because there were so many cool speakers last time too. And when I say cool speakers from the last time, I flipped. I'm really flipping. Where am I going? Where am I going? Oh no.
Too much to drink.
No. Boy, you're seeing my presentation. I might need your help, Michael. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's,
When in doubt, use the arrow keys too.
I prefer that.
Right?
That makes, oh my God, look at how I'm flying. Look, holy mackerel, I can't believe that happened. Okay, so anyway, in 2020, sorry, in 2020, I'm not used to the thingies, the remotes. In 2020, we had Mick Rock here. I mean, how many of you saw Mick Rock on stage? So cool, right? And then I was in this room for a second talk, and I did like the nuts and bolts of concert photography. And I just want to shout out to Mick Rock. I mean, he was here. He wasn't really an educator in life. He was an artist. And now he's passed. So David had sent me a text and let me know he wanted to do a concert track. So I was like backing up to Mick Rock in here. And what I want to say about that is when David texted me, I decided to make a headshot for Mick because it just touched us both so much. So I made this. It's his book, Mick Rock Exposed, and I just went straight into my studio and sat down crying about it and made this headshot. So what I want to say is not about that story, but if you need to practice, use yourself. Put yourself in a stool. Use your remote, use your timer, whatever it is. Practice with yourself. Lighting, like Blu-ray was talking about the great lighting. Do that, So now I'm going to say this. I talked about Peter. I talked about Blu-ray. Scott's coming up. Other people So good. We all need something to believe in. Education is an everyday coincidence when you are open to receive it. And so what I want to say with that is, as you see different speakers, just like Boo Ray was just saying, and if you didn't see it, back up and watch it on YouTube later. But, you know, we're all different. You are all different. We all have a different eye, and it's okay. You know, what we're here to do, speakers like us, are to give you basic training, and then you find what you want to do from that. You know, not everybody wants to shoot like Peter's people, the headshot crew, which is phenomenal. Okay, I don't. I do a different scene. I can do that, but I also do everything, like so many other things, with headshots. Considering this is my buddy that I met on the Brooklyn Bridge, and he was just standing up on a rail, and people were holding his hand, and he was taking a picture of the scene off Manhattan Bridge, actually, and he looked so cute, and I went over and said, "Can I please take your picture?" And he said, "Sure, why not?" And I said, "What kind of camera do you use?" And he said that he uses a Canon, and he said, "But my last name is Nikon." Isn't that funny? I love that story. So I'm like one of these people that love a story when there's an image. I wanted to show that. And then again, just like Boo Ray is out there everywhere, taking pictures wherever he wants to or needs to. You know, your clients might have you come to their office. This was on my splash thing for the depth of field, my little card that was on social media of this model. She's a model. And she's building her modeling portfolio. She's kind of new to the business, isn't agented yet, from Philadelphia. And so I joined with her, and where do we do it? We did it outside. She couldn't come to Paterson, New Jersey. You know, she was in Philadelphia, so I'm like, okay, let's just go outside. So this black and white image was shot on this scene that I took there. And like Boo Ray said, I'm gonna keep saying things that I love. Don't take too much gear, don't worry about it. I didn't even have lighting here. I had daylight, it was late in the day, boom, and I got the contrast. I love a contrasting image. That's my look. Somebody else's look might be something else. And that's what I'm trying to say about education. Listen to everybody and then find your space. Okay, here's another one. This is gonna be quick. Just getting expression, all right, very important to find expression and bring out mood, make people laugh like Peter does. He's got his Hurleyisms. So here I am. Look at, if you really can see here, this lovely lady. I have her posing on this chair. Let me get the microphone. I have her posing on this chair, little stool with a background on the side of a barn, and I needed her legs to come up so she wasn't slumping, and I put her on paint cans that I found on the farm. So you make your set. Don't let anything stop you. And because the image in the end is what matters, okay? You don't have to have a typical studio. I just did this, so because it needed to be done, and I needed to preserve her look. And I just love the 3 looks that she gave me right here. So who needs a headshot today? Social media, they are not only for corporates, like LinkedIn, they're for everyone on social media. Everybody wants to look good in that little circle. Small businesses and artists aren't any longer, and everyone wishes to put their best face forward, obviously. So on social media, it's nice to see your face and not your dog, you know, like on any social media. It's nice to see you instead of the poster, I think, on Facebook. I always said Facebook is all about the face and about showing you and reflecting yourself instead of what you're interested in, and you use a cover photo for the life stuff, like the dog goes there, okay? So ditch the selfie. Somebody came up to me a couple days ago and said she loved that I said that in 2020, hashtag ditch the selfie. I created that, and use it all day. Use it with your clients. Ditch the damn selfie. Let you take it and give them the right lighting and the right mood. Everything I've done in my career started in journalism and remains today. I still work for the paper. It's just a newspaper. And it brought me into concert photography and the whole thing. And it keeps me on my toes to deliver the results. Because what it's doing for me is the intention story. I'm finding the intention with the people, what their needs are. And the thing is the story, Boo Ray said this too, find out about them. The story is what you're pulling out so that you can get the look that they need. Okay, I'm gonna shoot a ballerina different than I'm gonna shoot an attorney, and I have an attorney here to show you an example. Okay, but here's the newspaper I work with. Here's Elton John. I guess that's the coolest show I've ever shot, but I love that. Okay, it led to headshots. I kind of already said that, which led to commercial work, meaning the headshot. If you think about it, if you're going to a business like an attorney, they might have you come back and expand that business and make a lot more dollars to shoot more things that they need. Maybe their location, maybe their staff, maybe headshots of everybody. That happened with an attorney I'm gonna show you now. Last year, I shot him, he loved it. He loved the mood I created, had me back. That's the intention for you. It's your intention. You're shooting, giving them the service they want, and then you prosper in other ways. It's really a cool thing. So headshots is a great bread and butter. I learned the fine art of capturing expression through direction, and it led to headshots. Did I repeat that? Am I going backwards? I'm sorry. Blu-ray's better than me. Okay, so I learned the fine art of capturing expression through direction. And where did I learn that? And you can all do this. This is the biggest lesson you can do, is getting the camera out and shooting. I keep saying to people, and I could see it at imaging, I can see it here, and the spirit and energy of the people here. It's so cool. The COVID coma is over. All right, let's dust off those cameras. Let's find a way to shoot. Let's find a way to practice. And the way that I did it back whenever I was starting in the business was I found a theater, a local theater group, that I went in and I just offered, hey, do you want a photographer? And I shoot action, so I did shoot the live play. But what was more important to me, and I wouldn't have done it, because that's a lot of work, I wouldn't have done it if I couldn't do the lobby cards. The lobby cards are what you see in a live theater, and you go in, and there's a picture of the, actors. So I did the actors. And what that taught me was expression for the intention of what they were up to. So this guy was playing a part where he was a drunk. I captured him with a speed light. One light, this is all one light. Arsenic and Old Lace was the play. Do you know it? Yeah, it's cool, right? So he was a drunk. I got him pretty good for that theater. That was their intention, to show the characters. I liked showing the characters being a character, and I always did it during dress rehearsal. I would take the ones to the side that weren't on stage. Then these two old broads, so, I'm an old broad too, but they were dressed to be old broads, and they were the mischievous ones. And I shot them intentionally, really hard light, crazy hard light, because that was the mood of the play. So there's your intention again. Remember, it's not all about just the headshot crew look. That's a look, and that's a very, very highly corporate good look for a lot of different reasons, social media, whatever. But intention, intention, intention. It's hard to find the intention in that look, although we know it's there, because if you put the picture up next to what they do, the intention shows. Okay, but anyway, for these lobby cards, these two girls, and this here, see that little thing, you might say, that's a terrible picture. Look at her neck on the right. Well, actually, see the glass that she's holding? I literally took the flash down here, and I let it come up, and that is etching in the glass coming on her neck. And I wanted that look, because it was about the drinking. Okay? So anyway, that's a little more about intention and how to practice that. And then we already talked about that. And here's another one from that time. And I'm just showing the idea that you're doing a couple different, you're finding different ways to express yourself through intention. So this one was Civil War era, and I looked it up, and I was like, okay, I can do that. Do the little vignetting and all that stuff. So what it does for you is it gives you training. And oh my gosh, I love that. So it's important to learn the rules of a standard headshot before charging your first clients. And Blu-ray, Peter, everybody else was teaching that. I'm not getting into that. I'm getting into deliverables, and that's where we're going to get started. But here we are, crop orientation, where they fit, meaning where they fit later, where they fit where they're going, is something you will need to study and apply to each intention scenario. So be prepared and tell them to be prepared through consultation. So we got this guy that's needing a shave. Not sure he wants to, kind of like my husband. But what I want to say to this is you need to make sure that when you have a headshot appointment, that you are finding out what their intention is. It's your job to consult with them, have a form ready, let them fill out a form. That's the easiest way. You can talk to them on the phone. But if it's a guy that, and you know that it is, usually if I'm doing a headshot client, I'll look them up on social media and see what they look like, hopefully right now. And if I see that it's a guy that shaves, I want him clean shaven for the shoot, because you're gonna, like, unless you're resourcing him out, outsourcing, you're gonna go through hell taking that hair off that face and making it a smooth face, right? Okay, so it's true. So prep your client, tell them what kind of clothes to bring for their intention, and tell them to keep them nice and not wrinkled, fitting clothes, not too big jackets, because they get real funny in the arms if you're getting the arms in. Okay, cropping with American Standard guidelines. When I say American standards, there's stuff out there right now that they are saying that a headshot is something that it's not. And Peter talked about this on stage the other day. And a headshot is not from here to here to the knees, right? It's not. Where's this definition of a headshot? This is from the dictionary. A photograph of a person's head and face. Hello, and it's true. Please keep it. A headshot is a headshot. And if you're doing to the knees, to the feet, to the whatever, it's not a headshot. It is a branding. It's a business portrait. Call it something else. All right? Let's keep the standards where they belong. And the standards belong in a certain place so that other photographers can enjoy that the standards are the same. So if we say that we're cropping bigger, you know what Peter said? And I love this because I always said this too. I'm charging more. I'm charging more. A headshot isn't that much money. It's this. Here you go again, intention. If they say, oh, but, I like the way I'm dressed. I have this cute dress. I want this. Can I like this? Oh, yeah. Guess what? That's an add-on. That's an add-on part of the shoot. Because now you're taking it from a half an hour, maybe. It takes me a half an hour to do a good headshot and to give the deliverable to what I want. If I have to go beyond that, I need to be paid more. Don't you? You came and you set it up and they're asking for more. Well, do it. Find a way. So on my offerings, I do say to them, once they get everything together, like whatever, if I do a contract or whatever, I'm letting them know that they have the opportunity to purchase more. If they decide they want more that day, there will, you can go to this package instead. So I'm giving them 2 packages, headshot and then personal branding. It's beautiful. A lot of people do it. They go to the next level. They say, yeah, I want this too. I'm at the Art Factory. That's where my studio is, if you guys know where that is in Patterson. And if people look around there and they're like, I don't just want my face. I want to be in this cool brick wall or whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Do you want to upgrade to the next package? Yes. I'll take another hour and shoot that, for a good grand more. Yes, yes, yes. That's a yes. Okay, so that's cropping to delivery for their needs. All right. So we're cropping from the head to the sternum. Now, Peter's different on this one, and that's okay. Again, everybody has their say. You choose what you want to do, but here's my ideas on it. Cropping head to sternum, so that is here to here for horizontal images, okay, for your landscape images. Here to here. Peter likes to go down into here. A lot of us do. I do. I love to go down in here, if it's going on their website. So now we're talking about deliverables again. Where's the intention for them? What do they need? What do they need? What did they tell me? okay? So that's that. But if you're shooting for this and you're getting the camera in there and you're getting that perfect shot in your little display, you're going to be so screwed if, and this is my experience, by the way, if you find that they needed it for something else that needed to be cropped differently. Now you don't have a canvas. You screwed yourself. You might have to overshoot it again. That's not fun. Do it, and it's so easy. It's nothing. But if it's a portrait style, which people still want, now Peter doesn't talk about this, and that's okay. If it's this way, my coined phrase is keep it above the belly button because it's easy to remember. Don't bring it into the hip. That's a different type of portrait. Their face gets lost. Keep it above the belly button, portrait. You can cut the thing off. You can cut a little off the face. I do that a lot. Whatever. It depends on who it is and what it's for. Artists. They want, edgy, whatever. The real estate agent, not so much. But their company might say, we have a business. I want to know, why am I delivering this? What do they need it for? Why are you going to use this? So now they're going to show me a business card. Well, we have these business cards, and everybody gets shot like this. And it's like the old-style business card where it's half of it's like them. And it's the portrait. It's the portrait framing, this. It's not always this. Because that doesn't work on business cards so much. So that's why we need to find out. And that's why we need to give more canvas. If you become creative with these time-tested guidelines, you are making a portrait with another portrait purpose. So now, here's a jazz singer from Cuba. I just love this guy. He's really cool. And I met him at an art social club. And he was just hanging out by a tree, looking like this. He wasn't, I don't know, he might have been performing that day. I didn't see him perform, but he was just hanging and having fun. And again, he wasn't my client, but I'm in Cuba. I want to take some portraits, man. You guys all know how that feels. You have to. We're artists. We see the picture everywhere we go. We see it. It's a sickness. It's a good one, though. So I see him, and I made good friends with him, quick friends. And I said, hey, I'm a photographer. I do, some headshot work. Can I take your portrait? And he's like, yeah, that's cool. So he leans back. I posed him and everything. Look at his gold teeth. They're so cute. So I pose him, but what I want to say about this, I'm using him as my cropping example. Here's his record, and it's good. I like that photography. It's straight on flash. It's kind of cool. That's coming back, by the way, if you've noticed. But now this is a different look. He didn't have the gold teeth there. So I updated his image. That's another one of my hashtags. Hashtag update your image. What does that mean? It's twofold. Update your image meaning update your picture, and then update who you are. Your image is now this. Maybe you were the real estate agent and now you're the rock star. Well, you're not going to have this picture. You're going to have this picture. It's a rock star. You know what I mean? You're going to be a different image. So update your image. It's twofold. All right? So now he's got gold teeth. So we got to update his image. Anyway, so that's about the cropping here. And if I'm overcropping, which I did, on the right, that's not a headshot. Can you see it? Can you agree with me that that's not a headshot? Please agree with me. Yes. Okay, because it's just getting confused out there, and it's pissing me off. I'm sorry to swear, but it is. Okay, I'm not seeing his personality there. I'm seeing him. It's a nice picture. Here it's okay in case he needs it that way. I do a lot of turning the camera, all right? But then I just showed you the next screen where now I got a headshot. Now I feel comfortable. I'm hanging with that. Now this was just natural light. I was drinking rum, who knows? It's probably not perfectly executed, but I'm giving you the bullet points on the fact that you had to bring out the eyes, we all talk about in cropping, do cut off the head a little bit. Get those eyes up here, not in the center of the frame. I see a lot of that. When people are practicing with me, I have to retrain them on how to crop in camera. This opening up the canvas is new with me, and it's because of the circle crop, but I don't want you to keep the eyes here. You want them here, or higher, but I like this hat. So, but now I'm like digging his face, I'm digging a tree that was behind him. So, let's go. Your headshot reflects the character within. What do you want to portray and why? This is intention. We talked about it a lot already. On the left, I have Brandy, one of my clients who owns a flower shop, and she needed this for her business card and whatever else. Okay, the right is my daughter, who is an editorial hairstyle in New York City. And so what did I do? I'm like, Kayla, let me think. And I wanted to shoot her in black and white. She always wears concert T-shirts, so she had Pink Floyd on. And I said, I wanted the hair on the face, and I wanted this, because she's a hairstylist. Now, she's not using this right now. She's using more of a beauty one, but I love this for her personality. And on her newest website that she's going to be she's creating right now, she's probably going to use that somewhere. So, history repeats itself. Sometimes people pull out the old stuff. So here we go. The pre-consultation for success. I use the journalist rules. Again, I'm a journalist. I work for a newspaper. I actually write stories, and I do photo essays, so I write. And I always think about the who, what, where, why, and when. All right? So who are we shooting? What is it for? So kind of like get that in your mind when you're consulting, when you're doing your questionnaires. Who are you? What is it for? Where are we going to be? Are you going to be at my studio? You're going to be at, the middle of the park. I don't know. Give them options. Let them tell you their options. Why do you need this, and when are we going to do it? Isn't that a good bullet point? It can be used for this. All right. So now we have Seshu. Guess what? Seshu was supposed to be with the guy with the shave. Sorry, he should be flipped back there where the shave guy was. But I was going to say that, if you already have hair on your face, you don't have to tell them to shave, obviously. So we're going to go past that one. This is one of my favorite headshots I've ever done, though. I did it many years ago. One light, speed light, outside, black background. That's all it was. It was a hot day. And boy, he just brought it, didn't he? So, and then if you're going to shave, I'm sorry I didn't flip these, but if you need a shave, you want to look like Neil. Neil is an author. This was for a book that he writes, like Western fiction. And I need his face to be clean, because I want to see the shadow from the hat, and I want to see the blue, and I want to see his thought process in his face. So you're the creator to find that. Anna is from a Cuba touring company. Anya, I'm sorry. And she's lovely. And I was doing a demonstration with my headshot class in Cuba, and I had a Westcott Rapid Box modifier, and we just went out in the night, and I just found her, I met her, and then I said, can we do a little demonstration with you? And that's what I do. I pull models from the street, basically. Well, she was hanging at a club with us, and she said, yes, I loved her look. So we went out, and I got to teach the students one light at night when it's weird conditions that you typically wouldn't do a headshot. And we just talked about this online, and she said this is her favorite headshot of all time, because it reflects her personality and what she does. She's like, come on, let's go. I'm a touring agent. Let's go. Come with me. So she's kind of like, let's go. Because she's probably looking like that all the time. Reverend Tony, he's at the Little Wedding Chapel in New Orleans. Maybe some of you have met him if you ever went there. He's the only reverend there if somebody got married there. So he was kind of cool. Here's where I was talking about, doing the headshot. So if I'm doing a beauty shoot, I always do a headshot too. And she came to me because she wanted a headshot. She was one of those ones that flipped and said, yeah, let's do more. I want more. But if that happened in the consultation, so then we were able to dress her appropriately and take her to the right location so that she could have this other ethereal look. All right, so here we go. So this is the headshot. I pulled headshots. That's not really a headshot. That was for her mom, in my head. I always do one for the mom, But this one's kind of a good headshot, too. I like that one. It really is her personality. She does some type of soul coaching or something. And there's another girl that does that here, too. But here's Stephanie, mind healing coach. So she had a terrible illness, and she got through it. So she teaches about coming out, kind of like the flowers meant something to me. Come out of your space and get back into life after you've been through a painful illness. And that's her. That's what happened with her. She's beautiful, and I just really nice girl. Your client's intention, why do they need their headshot? There's so many reasons, and you can probably shout them out to me, but do they want to reach out to potential employers? So LinkedIn presence is a big one. If it's professional people, they got to have something good on LinkedIn. Who cares about Facebook or Instagram? We care about Instagram. Facebook is for everybody. They want to look good there, but LinkedIn is a whole different level, right? And it's usually professionals. So I like to, when I'm talking about the headshot business, a lot of your clients are those people. So let's think LinkedIn, because they do use it. They use it. We don't use it so much anymore. But you should be, because you can market there, and you can tell people they need a headshot. Let's update your image. Use that hashtag all the time on LinkedIn. Update your image. Get it in people's heads. Will they be placing it on their website or brochure as a business owner? Are they in a new position and their company needs it for their website or printed for a wall? Do you still go in your local grocery store and still see the manager's pictures, 8x10s, over by the cigarettes? Seriously. Now, they're doing those themselves, but think about it. People still want things for different reasons. The phone book, last time I talked, there were still phone books out there. I don't think there are anymore, so I took the phone book slide away. But it's so true. Are they in the acting world, pageants, or dance? There's just so many reasons. And then the most important one is hair or weight changes. Are they reflecting their age today, or do they have a 15-year-old headshot? If they got older and they're not happy about that, you can make them still look wonderful at their age today. Because when they go and meet, if you're a real estate agent, and you got this hotter version of yourself because you were 15 years younger, they want to see who you are now, because whenever you come, it's like an Uber driver's headshot. You want to make sure it matches the person. So it's another marketing point for you. Update your image so that it's relevant to today, right? Okay, so that's just that little spiel. Are they in a new position and their company needs it for their website or printed for a while? I don't know how many calls I get from companies who are hiring me, not the person. And they send the person to me, and I'm consulting with the company and not the person of what they need. So think about that, too. Michelle Salentano, wonderful, wonderful. I hope you saw her talk. See it on YouTube if you didn't. She's a family photographer, beautiful person. And she had a hair change during COVID. She did the whole go silver. She had beautiful brown hair before, and then she went silver, and she looks really chic. And I was telling her that last night, and so she has a new headshot that reflects that, and it's awesome. So remember, if you know that somebody has a hair change, get it now. Like, girls change their hair all the time. If you see some pictures, older pictures of me, I'm blonde as can be, and now I'm brown. So I had to, switch it all out. Girls are easy. They're an easy, not sell, but to service, okay? Yeah, sometimes. You're hilarious. He said boys don't have hair, in case YouTube didn't hear that. So we did talk about this. That's so important to me. Open up in the camera crop, add extra canvas for processing any need. So here we go. Now this is Giancarlo's. And remember, I said sometimes I cut off half the face or whatever it is. I cut off half his hair because I wanted to make a record for him. So what are we going to do? What does he need? What does he need from me? Anybody think of something in delivery? What is it? Edgy, yeah, that's the look. Room for text. So I thought about that, and I used his hair. Obviously, his hair is part of his look. He didn't have that afro a few years ago. He must have grew it out during, the C word. Oh. But anyway. Yeah, that's a good one. So this guy, let me tell you his intention and his idea of what he might need. Can you see this little lump in his, right here, can you see that lump? That is formed there because he's one of these guys, I can't remember what it's actually called. He plays a trumpet from his mouth. Did you ever hear of that before? Yeah, what's it called? That is so awesome. Aperture, you said, right? Yeah, he plays that, and he does improvisation, and it's like you never know what you're going to get when you go to see him. It might be a whole different tune. So I needed it to be kind of like he wore the sunglasses due to the fact that, you don't know what you're going to get with him. He's so good. And so he's not a singer. He just plays the trumpet. So I wanted to reflect that bump. That was important to me. He didn't even ask for it. But you need to see that. That's your job. What was their intention again? Look for the things that were going to make that scream for them, because that's our job. We can do it. We are creatives, and we know how to make it happen. So anyway, Jan Carlos, consider this. This is not a real album. Don't go look on it for Spotify or whatever. I just did this for this class, and he doesn't even know yet. So, hey, Jan Carlos, sorry. He probably loves it. He'll probably utilize it. But in his bottom, I have LP records. I put my own label. Just for you. But okay, the intention again is a 12 by 12 crop. That was something I was looking for an answer. Is, you got to give it to him 12 by 12. I'm not going to give it to him as a 4 by 3 or whatever panel. I need him to have what he needs to give to the printer so that they can print it, or he can put it online digitally, which is now the way of the world. But now he has exactly what he needs, and that was not the crop I shot it in. He was in the center. And I did the post-cropping. We have the room with the cameras now, right? Yes, we do. So we can do that. I shot it close enough that I was able to do that. He wasn't like 12 feet away from me. Here's Brandy. Here's another me working wherever I can, wherever the opportunity presents itself. And I work at a hotel. I work for a hotel in Allentown called the Americas, and I utilize their ballrooms a lot for clients. I have that relationship with the hotel. So if you don't have a studio, and you're like, where am I going to work? Make a relationship in your town. There's libraries that will rent their for a really small fee, their program rooms to you. And you can set up a little studio in there and rent it for half a day. There is a way. And then you build from there. But anyway, so Brandy, I'm just going back to Brandy because I'm showing you how much space I had to work with her in my setup, actually, which is, she's a florist. So she wore this pretty blue dress, and the necklace was really important to her. She posted about that, the necklace. But the flower background was what I chose for her. I didn't even ask her. She came, she goes, I love it. Didn't show up on her card because there wasn't a lot of space. But then I also overshot it, and I made sure, she needed it that old-fashioned way, like the old way that the real estate agents use, right? So have they gotten up to speed? I don't know. So anyway, Brandy, I love you. We can lay out another look for you too. But because I want her to see the flowers more in the shot. And possibly she's using it on her website. So that's hers. And now we're going to go to an attorney. And this is one of my favorite clients. Sorry, everybody else, but he's great. I mean, so are you, everybody else. But my experience with this group taught me so many things this past year that I can talk to you about now, which is important. We want your people that are talking to you, and you take the time to come and sit with me instead of hanging on where it's really cool, where the cameras are out there. It's real lessons that us photographers are learning, and B&H brings speakers that have that model, that really are working and out there learning more and more for you so that you can apply what you love from what you saw. So this is an attorney, and I shot this at the hotel, one light, obviously. He wanted a lot of contrast, and I wanted that for him as well. I think I said it to him. You need a lot of contrast. He is like a firearms attorney. He represents people that if somebody steals your gun and you get in trouble because of that, he's that guy. He takes care of you in that way. Okay, so that's what he does. So I'm not going to have him he's smirking a little bit, but if he was a divorce attorney, I wouldn't have him smirking. Okay. Well, I don't know how good that marketing is, but his marketing is basically, I got you. I got you. And as I talk to him and his wife over and over again, they have a podcast that he does, and that talks about firearm law, basically, the law, and it takes you all through the United States, and it's a very important conversation. And but I've learned so much about him that I was able to pull so much intention into him to get the look that he needs to convey to his clients, and that's what we are here for. So now, I'm getting into the meat and bones now. What do I want to say? We're taking this headshot, and again, I'm shooting it. Was this the same? Yeah, I shot him twice. This is the same shoot. Now I got even darker and deeper for him because he wanted that. He likes that, okay? And he was able to use it on his Facebook page about postponed duty. It must have been a big weather event. And here's his headshot up here in the circle, the dreaded circle, I call it. I don't like it. But he's in a circle. That's the headshot I just showed you. And then he used another headshot. We're going to call that a branding, although it is a headshot. It's above the belly button. Okay? And he's just looking off saying, I'll see you later. So he utilized another headshot. I think they bought 5 or 7 or something like that so that they could utilize them along the way. All right, so that's one of the reasons. Here's another of them. This is the second shoot that I did with them, and I shot. Now he loved this so much, I came back to shoot the whole staff, everybody, the attorneys, everything, okay? And and now we took it from the hotel, and he said, Lori, I have a new office, and it has the law books, and it's so cool, and he loved this, So we utilized this for his group shot and his new images for the website. But we didn't use those in the headshots. We used it for the group, okay? So that's an old look. And what I used here, in case people are always asking about lighting, what did you use for the light? So this is the lighting that I used that you see here. The room was very dark, and I used this piece. I have these by Jenna Ray, who is here, and I never can find the thingy, but it's so good. Oh, is it not turning on for us? Okay, well, whatever. You can imagine, Go down to where they're shooting the bridal stuff. That's where these are. This is the SL Series 36, and then there's an SL smaller one now, and they're really inexpensive for what they are, and they've got all the bells and whistles. You can dim them. Here's what I love. I was able to execute these shoots to add the contrast and then take it away just with the barn doors. So I have a video, I didn't put it in here because I knew I would run out of time, that shows me working the barn doors. Right? I mean, seriously, and this is what I teach whenever I'm teaching on site, like on my one-on-ones or my little group teachings that I do. I teach how to use something like this, but this is gold. These barn doors are gold. And this really lights up the, whatever it is that you need. So that's Jenna Ray, and Josh is down there with the bridal models, okay? So I'm going to get out of there, and here I'm, again, on location, and I'm shooting in the lunchroom of the doctor's office. So this dentist has me come back and shoot his new employee. So this is a roundabout You know, his intention is, Lori, I need to have a contract with you that you're shooting our staff, and then every time a new employee comes, you're coming back to shoot it. That's the beauty of this, too, is that if you get into corporate stuff, which you should, especially doctor's office. He's in a big building with a bunch of doctors. And you know what I did after the shoot? I ran around with my cards to every one of them. My headshot card, I have a headshot card. Ran around to every one of them and said, hey, I did headshots for Dr. Snimpel today. If you need headshots in the future, if you find yourself in need and you don't have a photographer for that, call me and I'll take care of it. You know what it did? What it does is it gains trust because Dr. Snimpel used you. Oh, you are working. You came here. You know our building. That is such a good marketing tip for you. Just walk around and give your card out. And I learned that from a sign guy that did my signs. I had a flower shop for many years. And he did my sign, and he ran around with a business card to the businesses beside me and said, I use Wildflower Studio, da, 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 da. I was like, that tip was the greatest marketing tip I've ever heard. And guess what? He got a couple other signs near me, you know, because businesses change all the time today. So here's where Dr. Snimpel, this is the only place he needed it. The only place is on the website. And the website was a template. And again, if I would have shot this, only landscape, it wouldn't have worked. He needed this tie to be down here. The template called for that. The portrait style. So that's why I don't want you to get in the bag where, wait a minute. Now, I'm not dissing Peter. I love Peter. He knows that. If you're only shooting this because you saw it there, you might screw yourself. Because maybe they needed that and you weren't realizing it because you didn't consult for it. You didn't look at the website that they were using. You didn't look at the template. Please send me a screenshot so I can see what you need it for. Because they might not know to say to you, Dr. Snimpel doesn't know this. Oh, you need to show it this way. You need to look at it and you need to say to yourself, oh yeah, is it going to be, you need it to be that way? Confirm it with him. Yeah, I want it like that. You know, that's all they're going to say. They don't know. We have to know. That's our service. Okay, so there you go. Here's an old one. This is before the circle crop. This was when it was still square. I think this was on Facebook. Isn't that hilarious? So here's another one on location. I only use natural light here. He's a realtor, and I gave him a different look, an environmental look. And he was against this building, which is a glass building, and I showed his shadow. So that was kind of cool. That worked out. And the cropping was square. So again, we're talking about cropping. Okay. Deliverables. What does your client need? What, why, and when? We're going back to the idea of the journalist rules. So we're going to get through this before we run out of time, because Scott Kelby's coming up next. Oh my gosh, I had to like bring it because these two giants are between me, but I said that on Facebook. Anyway, so here we are. How do I want to say this? Boy, oh boy. This is what a screenshot of my Lightroom and the, you know, I used Lacey. I use these. Anybody else use these? This is a Lacey external hard drive. They're wonderful. You can drop it. You can throw it. You can, you know, your kids can whatever it, you know, play basketball with it. And it's got that case. Okay. So anyway, along with that, what I want to say about that is here, that's on my external. And here's how I'm labeling them. I'm labeling them because when I'm delivering this, I want to make sure that they're clear on what they're getting. I'm not just sending them a full res copy. You know, we're so into the full res, low res. Don't call it low res. Don't call it full res with your clients. You can do that if you're working in documentary or you're working, you know, with a magazine. That's all they want to know. But your client, you need to dumb it down, bring it down. Print, web. Okay, you can see the sizing here. This is full size. Actually, some of them are changed a little bit because I cropped them in. That one I cropped in. See, I took my canvas and I cropped it in, okay? And then over here, these are web sizes. And you do what you want. But what I do is 1,000 on the long side. I use Lightroom. And I use PNG. Because PNG looks better on the web. It just does. Nobody messes with it. Facebook, right? Somebody knows up here. Nobody messes with it. Facebook messes with you sometimes, and then you're like, why does that picture look so warbly? And you already put it out there, and it sucks, you know? So PNG, give yourself a break. You know, it's hard enough what we do. Here's my circle crop. Now look at my delivery. Does anybody else do this? I'm giving him what I want him to look like when he puts it on LinkedIn or on social media. I want him to be able to just drop it on there, and there's the circle, and it, Facebook or whoever it is finds that circle right away because it's a square crop. So now I'm square cropping. Do this. It will save everybody's life. Like, really. Here's the circle crop. All right. And when I said here, I didn't say it. Okay. If it fits the work, delivery, or extra service that's not promised, I'm going to say it now. Yeah. What I'm going to say here is something really simple, is they didn't ask for black and whites. I don't promise black and whites unless they, in the consultation, say they need them. I love black and white. So if it turns out that black and white looks great, I'm going to give them an extra one. It took me a second to do that. I'm not messing with it. I'm just like converting to black and white. Boom, done, send. Guess who loves you because you gave them something extra? I'm not going to charge him for that. It's the same shot, right? But I gave that to them. Extra. I got an extra goodie for you in case they want to use a black and white. And he looks good there. Why not? All right, let me get through this so we don't lose time. We chose in consultation to utilize landscape cropping for the website. So that's what he wanted, not Dr. Simple. They knew. And I asked them, believe me, I pulled it out of them. How do you want this to lay on your website? Do you want it this way or do you want it this way? We want it this way. Done. I didn't shoot the other way except for the Giamita, Mr. Giamita, the lawyer. I shot him that way the first time, and he used it. But the second time, they didn't want it, so I didn't take the time. Okay? All it was for their website. So there it is. That's just a screenshot from the website. Now, let's talk about this quick. In-camera crop. This is Joanna. This is one of my very good friends. We hung out in New York. This is at Washington Square Park, where the monument is. And I just said, hey, I need to make some slides for my presentation. Let's do it. And I just took this shot. So I'm going to show you this shot. In-camera crop. That's what I did in the crop. This is what I'm talking about, the canvas. So important. Here's the negative space that she needs because she's a coach, and she loves to put print. Something else you want to ask. She loves the social media thing. She loves to put print beside, or her logo beside her face. That's a cool thing. People do it all the time, okay? So now I've cut off her head a little bit, negative space. Here's room for centering. Now I have room to center it, okay? Now she's centered because I want to go to a square crop. Here's how the client might load it onto LinkedIn or whatever. I gave her that square crop that was just down the center. You got to do a little bit more work and push her over, okay? What if she loads this? Circle crop is going to go like this, isn't it? We don't want that. Not for them. So I do this. And now I go the extra step, and I make the create circle crop in the elliptical marquee or vignette on the Lightroom. I will make a video about that one day and put it on YouTube on Photo Communique. Okay? So that was my goal. Did you see now the progression? Open it up and crop. It's not going to hurt anybody. So you can go in Lightroom and not screw yourself. This lesson is about not screwing yourself, right? Delivery for most social media, that's how she's going to look, right? That's how it lands. Here it is on my computer. I'll leave that for a second. And then I put her on my Portrait of Beauty thing just quickly. I hope she didn't catch me doing this, but she's my friend. She doesn't care. I did this for you. I put it on my Portrait of Beauty client thing, you know. Here it is. I'm loading it. It was like this. I didn't have to move it. I didn't have to edit the crop. Done. Here she is in the final, all right? That's how she looks. And she didn't get cropped weird. You know, hopefully they don't use a freaking filter. That happens sometimes. Proofing and delivery time. This will be quick. Again, I told you I use Lacey. They are out there on the mezzanine. Lacey's great. I just love them. Client selection. Here's what you want to do. You want to call your images first for the best of. Don't show them everything. Don't show them everything. If you shot 100 frames, it'll kill you. It'll kill them. Tethering in studio is one way that a lot of people work. I don't. But they tether with Lightroom or Capture One. They go off to the side and they call first. Then they show them the best of. The people pick. I can't take that time. I just don't have it in me. I could, but I don't. I prefer utilize on Zoom or Skype. Other people do this. This is a really cool one too. Zoom or Skype a meeting with them online, and they can pick from there. But if you do that, put proof on the watermark, make a proof watermark in case they screenshot it, and they use it before it's retouched. Because what if they're taking something that they don't pick, and then it's not retouched? No, okay? A proofing site is what I use, and I also use, if it's somebody like Mr. Jeremita, and I think I did this with Robert too, the dentist. I use WeTransfer or Dropbox. I'm not a Dropbox person anymore. I like WeTransfer. It's great. Look into it. 2 gigabytes they give you. She's shaking her head. Oh yeah, baby. Okay.
Lori, we're out of time.
Okay. The client selects toned-only images, white balance, color exposure. Next, retouch those 2 needs. And then the last thing is this, and I'm going to go through this really fast. I found a company. I wanted to change my company, so I'm going to tell you the one I was using because I don't want to, diss it. But I found a new company, and I found it through that somebody sent me for proofs, something. It's called Lightfolio. I will be using this in the future, and I want to show you why. Look it up. I can't get into it. We're out of time. But you can build a website off of this. There's a booking site for photographers. It has the studio manager's dashboard with invoicing and the whole 9 yards. Then I looked on the bottom, and I saw this. This is crazy. Contracts and questionnaires already made out that you can customize. Beautiful. It's crazy. I'm not associated with them. They don't even know who I am. I don't know them. But look, print photo release, model release, portrait contract, portrait client questionnaire. I emailed them this morning and told them I want a headshot questionnaire for you guys. And I'm going to help them design it. Okay, I'm almost done. Copyright release, blah, blah, blah. I am Portrait Symposium, Avant-Garde Photographer Education at Art Factory Studios. Look it up. At the speaker table, I'll have cards. That's the website, portraitsymposium.com. You have to put the www. I have a class coming up for people to learn the method of shooting the headshots. That's available now. Join our Facebook community, Portrait Designers. There's 46,000 members. It's pretty cool. You can find it on that website. And I do the cultural training to travel, if you like to travel. And I'm done.
Well done.
Thoughts up.
Round of applause for Lori, everybody.